Hello, my name is Hakon, and welcome back, all you fabulous fighting fantasy aficionados, friends, family, and other random passers-by, for another day of fighting fantasy frolics and fun as we play Scorpion Swamp for the first time. This is Fighting Fantasy Gamebook number 8, written by Steve Jackson, but not the Steve Jackson that started the Fighting Fantasy series together with Ian Livingstone. No, this is American Steve Jackson, known for games such as Car Wars and the role-playing game GURPS, for instance, and lots of other things too. So I'm expecting this to be a little bit different now because this is the first book in the series that isn't written by Steve Jackson, the UK Steve Jackson, or Ian Livingstone. So it might be a little bit different. So, so I'm quite looking forward to that. I already read through the beginning, and I noticed there are seem to be no provisions in this one. So there's no food for you to eat to restore stamina, but there is some kind of magic spell system where you're not a magician yourself. You're a fighter. You're a warrior, but there are some gems you can pick up that will give you magical spells. So I'll have to look at that as I find them because I don't need to know right away. So without too much further ado, let's get started. Scorpion Swamp with a what looks like an absolutely giant tick here on the front, with a little gem on his head, as you do. Let's find out what's going on here. So I'll be ready in a few moments. Right, there we are. Just occurred to me that I didn't sync the audio with my... Usually I use my clapper to sync the audio and videos, but I forgot to do that before I started. I'll just... Well, I'm able to sync it without doing that, so that's not a problem. Anyway, let's see just one thing, maybe if I do like so. Okay, sorry, I'm touching the camera there. Okay, so yes, I can see what I'm doing. I've got my cup of tea here as well. Got my pens, paper, and a blank map here in the background, ready to be filled in, and dice, and a cup of tea. There's not much left though. Yummy. Okay, so let's get started. So we have our standard abilities in this one: skill, stamina, and luck. I'm rolling for them as usual. So skill, 1 die plus... And of course this is the first time I played. I don't know how important it's going to be. I expect skill 8 is not going to cut it, but I'm going with that for now. Stamina 14. And luck, oops. At least my luck is good. Actually, I've got almost the same luck as I've got stamina, which is... I'm not sure that's a good thing, actually. So that obviously explains why my character has survived so far in life. He is absolutely rubbish at fighting. He got a glass jaw, but he's so lucky he always escapes with his life. So, yeah. Let's see if that still works now. Right, so no provisions, no potions, which seems to be replaced by a magic system instead. Let's see. So each gem, so you can find gems, spell gems, and each gem can cast one spell one time. There are 12 different spells, and 3 different types: good, evil, and neutral. Let's see. Anyone may cast neutral spells. Okay. It looks like it's... Yeah, okay, so you get it from the wizards. Okay, so you meet some wizards in this one. I have played this one before, but I can't remember anything about wizards or spells, actually. I didn't play it much, I don't think. I think I only just started... Just like many other books in the series, I only just started playing them at some point when I was younger, and then I sort of ended up doing something else, like playing computer games or something. I don't know. In any case, I'm playing them properly now. I'm doing it by the book, so to speak. Let's see, mapping. There's some special thing about mapping here. because there are clearings, and they connect to other clearings, and they have sort of. Let's see. Okay. So I'll see how that goes, because I might have to do my mapping differently now, because there are these clearings you can move between, we can also go in both directions. So my usual kind of mapping style may not work as well here. It breaks down a little bit once you can walk in back and forth, especially if you get different paragraph numbers. I'll see how it goes. I think it'll be okay. I'll figure it out. The only problem will be it's going to be a bit messy to start with, but and as usual, it's the one true way on each quest involves a minimum of risk, and any player, no matter how weak on initial dice rolls, should be able to get through fairly easily once the best path has been discovered. Let's see, somebody's used the character sheet before, that's alright. I never use those anyway. Excuse me. Sorry, it's quite early in the morning, so I've still got that morning cough going on. Just from being a bit thirsty and, yeah, things like that. Okay, so, background. Let's start with the background. Oh, just check everything is, yes, sound is rolling as well. Yeah. I had to put in some fresh batteries this morning. I was a bit skeptical about the previous set because I think they would have been okay, but it would be a shame to lose sound in the middle. Although I can use the camera sound here. It's not too bad if I remove a lot of noise. Anyway. Hardy adventurer that you are, you have never been known to quail at a little danger. But you're no fool. You've always been far too wise to venture into Scorpion's swamp. All your life you've heard tales of that awful marsh and its disgusting denizens. But the real danger of the swamp, so the tales go, is not the creatures that inhabit it, nor even the magicians and wicked men who haunt its paths. No, the reason that so few return from Scorpion Swamp is very simple. The swamp is crisscrossed by numerous trails that twist and turn in all directions. No one has ever mapped them and lived to tell the tale. An evil fog hides the sky, so no one can set a course by the stars. Once you're well into the swamp, even compasses are unreliable. They may point north, west, or south by southeast, leading you around in circles until you drop from exhaustion. So you've stayed well away from the swamplands, but although you don't know it yet, something is about to happen to change your fortunes. As you walk along the King's Highway, you come upon an old woman, crumpled in the dust. You carry her into the shade and give her a drink from your water skin. She soon revives, but you walk with her. You walk with her to the next town just to make sure that she will be all right. You take your leave of her in the town marketplace. Bless you for your kindness, she says, when you part. Wear this with my good wishes, and may you never lose your way. With that, she gives you a plain-looking brass ring. When you slip it on your finger, smiling your thanks, it feels loose. An hour later, as you walk down the highway again, you realize that it has altered its shape to fit you perfectly. You have a magic ring. As you travel, you learn more about the brass ring's powers. The old woman must have been a powerful witch, and she meant her blessing seriously. While you're wearing the brass ring, you will always know which way is north. Even in the deepest forest or in the twistiest town street, you will never be lost. Furthermore, the brass ring grows warm on your finger in the presence of evil, even when you are greeted in a friendly fashion. You spend a week with the forest bandits, rough men but honest in their way, and the ring is cool. But in the caverns, it warns you of evil magic and of foul undead, and in the towns you find that no clever thief or lying merchant can fool you. The old woman's gift is valuable indeed to an adventurer like you. Now you feel as though you ought to put the brass ring to some use worthy of its magic. Exploring Scorpion Swamp with its unmapped maze of trails might be the perfect task, and it might be profitable too. So with your mind set on glory and treasure, you set off towards the bogs and fens of Scorpion Swamp. Now turn over. So that's a nice introduction. Not too much information there. Just the essentials. Right. So we have paragraph 1. Fighting Fantasy, book number 8, Scorpion Swamp. Okay. Is that inside? There it is, just outside shot there. I tried to move my camera a little bit higher today so I can see more of, you can see more of my map in one go. Let's see. The path that you must travel is a long one, for Scorpion Swamp lies to the far west of the kingdom. As you travel, you may have many experiences that a less seasoned traveller would call adventures. To you, fighting orcs and goblins, defying evil wizards and slaying giant wolves are all in a day's work. As you travel farther west, the mountains around you turn to hills, the hills to plains, and the plains to damp lowlands. You know that Scorpion Swamp cannot be far away. When you enter the little town of Fenmarge, no one finds you remarkable. Many travellers pass through here. Your sturdy helmet and sharp sword indicate you are a fighter not to be trifled with, but this is not uncommon. But when, sitting in the local tavern, you announce your plan to explore the swamp, the listeners are dumbfounded. They cluster around you, pushing back the battered benches to make room. The swamp, they tell you, holds the bones of many such as you. Not only is it trackless and infested with vermin, monsters, and starving bandits, but a group of wizards calling themselves the Masters have recently claimed Scorpion Swamp for their own. One of them, a big burly man escorted by 2 great grey wolves, visited this very tavern last week. He didn't say much, they tell you, but he didn't seem the sort to welcome trespassers on his property. As the conversation continues, you realize that the villagers are sure you will die in the swamp. Well, why wouldn't they be? Everyone else has. We can't let you go, they say. One even makes so bold as to put his calloused hand on your shoulder to restrain you as you start to walk out the door. Will you challenge them for their impertinence, or politely explain that you are determined? It's a bit unusual beginning here. You have to actually convince people that you are not doing something stupid. Whereas in all the other ones, you just doing something stupid, basically, by being a bit foolhardy. So I'm going to politely explain that I am determined. I'm not going to challenge them for their impertinence. Excuse me. So we have 48, challenge, 195, explain. Okay, so I'm always going to go with explaining and talking if I can, because my skill is not good enough to challenge people for being impertinent, I don't think. 95. The villagers shake their heads as you turn towards the door, but make no further attempts to dissuade you. But before you reach the door, a villager blocks your path. He is a short, middle-aged fellow with a black beard cut square across the bottom. At first you take him for a farmer, but he seems more interested in you than any farmer should be. He takes your arm and leads you to a table in the corner of the tavern. The others have gone back to their chatting, and you find yourself willing to hear that this quiet man will what this quiet man will say to you. He introduces himself as Gronar. If you really intend to brave the terrors of the swamp, he says, you ought to have some purpose, rather than random mapping and beast slaying. If you agree with him, turn to 240. If you disagree, turn to 122. Okay, so I suppose if you disagree, you just go for the swamp and without any purpose, but purposes are good. 240, agree. 122, disagree. I'm going to agree. I think another purpose, if I had one, would be useful. Not just randomly walking around. So you agree with Gronar. Your journey would be much more interesting if you had a mission to accomplish as well. He nods. There are 3 men in this village now, he tells you, who cannot go into the swamp themselves, but each one has need of a strong fighter willing to venture there. The first of the three is an old wizard devoted to the cause of good. He stops to quaff a long draught from his mug. And that's the end of my tea. If you want to hear him out, turn to 205. If you want to interrupt him to say that you will serve only good, turn to 155. Okay, so we have 205. Hear him out, or 155 interrupt. I'll hear him out, even though I'm probably wanting to serve good. Grona orders another pitcher of ale and settles back in his chair. Celator is a good wizard, he says. Grimslade appears to serve the forces of evil, though a simple man like myself cannot be sure about such things. And Poomchakra is a very strange fellow indeed. No one knows much about him, but he is powerful. Each of them has made it known that he seeks a champion to enter the swamp. More than that, you will not learn without visiting them. Will you help the good wizard Celator? Risk aiding the forces of evil if the prophet is right and visit the sinister Grimslade, or take your chances with the mysterious Poomchakra? So, this seems to me at the moment like in the beginning of the game you're actually choosing three different between these three, and that will affect the course of the rest of the adventure, possibly by what spells you have available to you. Is it possible to get spells from more than one during one playthrough? I don't know yet. The rules seem to indicate maybe that was the case, or you might meet other wizards in the swamp. Well, I think that I'm going to start with the good wizard Celator, because let's see, first just put this on my map now. So we have so 3, 3, 5 good, 2, 5, 5 evil, or 27. What do we call the last one? Crazy wizard? Unknown, I put. Unknown, yes. So I'm going to go to 335 and go to the good wizard Celator. Ducking under a heavy cast iron lantern, you leave the tavern. The light is unexpectedly bright outside, and you blink for a moment in the glare. You start off down the road, but realize you don't know where you're going. Hailing an old man who is leaning out the window of his shop, you ask where you might find the good wizard Celator. The shopkeeper is suspicious at first, but soon warms to you and gives you directions. Soon you are lost again. How can you get lost? I thought you had a ring that meant you wouldn't get lost. Oh well. But a ruddy-cheeked woman said to you, has Steve Jackson forgotten already that you got a ring that makes you never get lost? Eventually you come to a small house on the edge of the village. Celator, a small, stout man in a white tunic and linen breeches, is pottering in his garden as you come up the path. You tell your story. He smiles and asks how you think you can get through the uncharted swamp. If you tell him about your ring, turn to 371. If you'd rather keep it a secret, turn to 96. Well, he is a good wizard. May as well tell him, I suppose. So, wouldn't tell an evil wizard, probably. The thing is, an evil wizard, if you tell him you got a ring, that will help you go into the swamp, and the reason he's not going into the swamp himself is because it is very difficult. He might just kill you and get the ring, wouldn't he? But a good wizard, he would think that was alright then. So, so I'm just going to tell this guy about the ring and go to 371. He nods. Yes, you are the one I have been waiting for. You can do what must be done. He smiles at you and you feel very proud indeed. I will tell you about the quest. Once upon a time there grew a plant called Antherica. It had many healing properties and was of great value to the makers of white magic. But it was of no value in evil spells, and so the forces of evil set out to destroy the plant everywhere. It was thought that they had succeeded, but through my studies and my crystal ball I have learned that a single plant of Antherica survives deep in Scorpion Swamp. It is a small dark green bush with sweet-smelling white flowers and purple berries. If you can bring me back just one of those berries, through my magic I can cause the Antherica to bloom again for white magicians everywhere. There is plenty of treasure to be found in the swamp, the little wizard goes on, and you may keep all you win. All I need is a single berry of Antherica. But, although a fighter like you is well fitted to survive in the swamp, there are magic forces there against which a sword is of little use. I cannot teach you magic, but I can do the next best thing. I can give you 6 magic gems. Each of these will contain one magic spell, but when you have used them all, you must rely on your keen sword and your sharp wits. So, you've got spell gems 6. You discuss with Seletor which spells you should choose. You may pick 6 spells from the magic spells listed in the front of the book, but only from the list of neutral and good. Okay, so I have to choose spells now. That's all right. So spells, really, I should have spells. And I have to pick 6 now, so I'll go to the list and see. Okay, so neutral or good. So we got skill, restores skill. Stamina restores stamina. Luck restores luck. Fire, set fire to one medium-sized object. Ice freezes water. Illusion, the spell is some small short-lived illusion. Friendship, growth, makes a plant grow. Bless. Okay. So I will definitely want a stamina spell, at least one. Okay, maybe I should do a... I'm going to do a friendship. And the bless. And growth. And... ice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got one more. See the spell, the ability spells, they only increase your abilities by half the initial. So, which usually is enough, really, if you... Well, maybe I should have 2 stamina spells. And so stamina times 2. The other ones I got 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay. I'll start with those. It's just the first time after all, so just to see how it goes. Just give me 2 seconds. I just need to blow my nose, actually. Right, sorry about that. I'm back. Let's see. Right, so I've selected my spells. With the spell gems tucked safely in your pouch, you say farewell to Seletor and strike off towards the swamp. Although your trip will be dangerous and you are buoyed up by the old wizard's wisdom and kindness. The quest is this: find an Antherica berry and bring it back to Seletor. Turn to 9 and begin your adventure. Okay. So already things are done quite differently in this one. So so 9. So I'm going to go with 9 over here maybe. So like so. 9. Okay. Let's see, just move my screen so I can see what I'm doing now. Yeah. Okay. You are on the southern edge of Scorpion Swamp. Thanks to the brass ring, you will always know which way is north, but you must still make a map. You decide to map each path you follow and each clearing you enter, so that you will know which way to go if you return to a clearing. You quickly find a path leading north into the swamp. A huge sign crudely painted on a boulder reads, "Stop, Scorpion Swamp, turn back." A skull and crossbones completes the grisly picture. Bravely you stride past the warning and enter the swamp. You can see that it would be foolish to step off the path into the muck, so you follow the trail where it leads. Turn to 195. You are in clearing 1. Actually, this is no more than a wide spot where three trails meet. The ground is very shaky and wet, and huge insects flit over the pools of water that dot the ground. If you want to step carefully across to another trail, turn to 58. If you would rather just jump over the soft part, turn to 91. Okay, so clearing 1, I'll just do like that. So I want to step carefully across or jump. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to keep mapping the way I usually do for now. Let's see. So 58, step, or 91, jump. I'll try to step carefully across to another trail. Test your luck. If you're lucky, you pick your way through to the exit you choose. If you're unlucky, you make it, but only after tripping over a protruding root and banging your leg on a stone. Subtract 1 from your stamina. Okay, so if I'm unlucky, I'll lose 1 stamina, basically. So, unlucky, stamina -1. But also I'm losing 1 luck point, which isn't that great. So I'll go. There we are. Roll an 8. My luck is 12, so I'm down to 11, because it'll always go down every time you test your luck, which is fine. Let's get a little bit more light in here. Let's see. How's that now? Is that too bright? Let's... Yeah, okay. I think that'll work. Okay. Right. So I didn't lose stamina, but I lost a luck point, and I am then going west, east, or south. Okay, so this is starting in the northern end now. It's because most of it seems that all the Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson ones, they start from the north and they move. Oh, they start from the south and they move northwards. Most of them. So we can map this direction. So, if this is the northernmost point, and I'm sort of trying to make it sort of geographically, I suppose I'll have to make west on the right and east. So if we do something like so south there. Oops, that's not from there, that's from here. Okay. So, okay. And maybe something like that. So that is 208 south, 105 east, and 398 west. Okay. I think the fact that this book is actually meant to be mapped is going to completely drive me crazy at some point, because it doesn't go with the way I normally map out these things. I'll start by going east. Ahead of you is a clearing. Unlike the last one you found, the ground seems to be solid. This is clearing 12. 12. If you've been here before, turn to 330. Okay. So 330, and I put B there for before. Okay. Just make a new system now. You see several large flat stones, a huge hollow tree, and 2 other paths leading out. Will you sit down and rest on a stone, investigate the hollow tree, or leave the clearing immediately? Okay, so we've got rest, 55 tree, 390 leave. Well, I don't have any reason to rest because I'm not tired yet. I just started. Well, I could have lost a stamina point, I guess, but still, yes. I'm going to investigate the hollow tree first of all. So I'm going to go to 55. Warily you step over to the tree. Before you reach it, a rank odor warns you that it is the den of some large animal. You step backwards as an enormous bear pokes his shaggy head out of the hollow tree. If you run away, turn to 390. If you want to fight the bear, turn to 200. Well, I only got skill of 8. I don't think fighting bears is really the way to go, is it? I'm going to run away. Go to 390. You have a choice of 3 paths. They all seem rather swampy and hazardous. Will you go north, east, or west? Yeah, I think my piece of paper is going to get too small for this quite quickly. So north, east, or west. So I'll just have to do as best I can, I guess. Okay, so 144 north, 209 east, or 195 west. Well, I came from the east, I guess. Maybe I should go north in that case. I'll go north. You notice that your path is crisscrossed by spider webs. There is a clearing ahead. Even before you enter it, you can see that the surrounding trees are thickly festooned with webs and that there are many spiders there. You're in clearing 17. So, 17. If you've been here before, turn to 345. If you have not been here before, keep reading. So, is the 345B. In the center of the clearing there is a sumptuous pavilion which seems to float above the marshy ground. It is silver grey and it shimmers like woven spider silk. Seated in the pavilion is a tall man. His thick beard and eyebrows are white, and his robe is as silver grey as his tent. Around his neck hangs a gleaming silver spider amulet. You know that you are in the presence of the master of spiders. As he regards you from his burning green eyes, you feel your brass ring warning you of evil. Will you cast a magic spell, attack immediately, or talk to him in a friendly fashion? So we have, let's see, I'll put the options down here. So 74 spell, 26 attack, 332 talk. Well, I always start by talking in a friendly fashion. I'm going to continue that tradition now and see what happens. Ignoring the warning signal from your ring, you speak to the Master of Spiders in a friendly fashion. He answers very politely, asking you your business. As you start to reply, you feel a sharp pain at the back of your neck. The Master of Spiders laughs gleefully. You spin around and see a black spider as big as your hand dangling behind you. As its poison courses through your veins, you slump to the ground, unable to move. You see the Master of Spiders rummaging through your pack to see what loot he has captured. Then you feel yourself seized from behind. You are dragged up a tree coated with spider silk and left to hang. In a week or two, you will make a tasty meal for the spiders. Your adventure is over. Right. So, talking to the Spider Master is not a good idea. Right, so that's the end of that. Seems that death comes swiftly in Scorpion Swamp, potentially, and I think my map's going to be completely messy because of the way it's laid out and the way you can crisscross your paths and things. But I'll just keep working on this and try to use different colors if I need to make things clearer. At least I got the clearing numbers in there. Maybe I should put them in different colors. Maybe I should do a bit of black there. So that was quite interesting. I really like the writing style, actually. It's a bit very different from the other Steve Jackson and in Livingston. I actually prefer this Steve Jackson's writing style. It feels a bit more accomplished, actually. So I'll be back with another episode where I'm trying to do the same thing again, and hopefully this time I will find something else. I think it's going to take a while to do this one, but actually I quite like the concept of this sort of exploration rather than a more linear adventure. This is more your aim is partly to actually do the mapping as well. So it'll be quite exciting to see, and also it'll be interesting to see what happens when you I presume sometimes when you return to a clearing there's something different will happen that also will be interesting. So that's going to be part of the story. So yeah, although it will make it rather complex to map out properly, but yeah, it's going to be a challenge to map this, but that's great fun. It's part of the fun. I like doing the maps. So yeah, so thanks for watching. Quite a short episode, this one, but the next one probably going to be a little bit longer, maybe, if I don't die right away. The thing is, usually when I don't die right away, or not always, but sometimes when I die right away, I do start over in the same episode as well, but I'm not doing that today because it is, well, I think it's long enough. I mean, I make so many long episodes, it's nice to have a shorter one as well. So in order not to make it too much longer, I'm not going to ramble on about anything else. I'm just going to say goodbye for now, and thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this, please let me know. Please leave a comment. Please like the video. Please share it. Please subscribe even if you like. All interactions with my videos do help me grow my channel on YouTube, and which is, even though it's not important to me, it's quite fun to see that happening, and it's always enjoyable when people interact with what I do and find it interesting or helpful, or entertaining or anything. So thanks for that, for those who do that, and for you and for everyone else. Goodbye for now. Bye bye.